Hello everyone, welcome to our first SAP release video. Today we will cover our top 5 new functionalities in SAP Analytics Cloud for the first quarter of 2023. My name is Cas and this is Karen Cas.
And I will take you right into our first functionality, which is the new story experience. So I will just dive right into the system to show you. And I have opened already an old story of SAP. And when we go to the edit mode, we will see a nice clean pop-up with the new feature that is the optimized view mode. Now, I'm just gonna skip that for now because aside from the view mode, there's also an optimized design mode. And the design mode will also change to the optimized view mode. So it's like two stones in one throw. And then when we click on it and we convert the whole story, this needs another saving. So we'll just save it. Voila. It's going to clone the story into a new one so that you can see what is changed. Voila. And this is like the new look and feel. So the filters are different. And well, for input controls, for example, it's now available for sorting, which is something that I use in customers a lot. And then also the filters have changed. So when you minimize a story or when you have just too many filters that fit on your screen, it will now have a drop-down box instead of the horizontal arrows that you use. There's a lot more that you can do in the optimized view and design mode. For example, we'll just pick one, the chart builder. So when we now edit the chart, we have the option to view all available objects and we can drag and drop. So let's say I want country with my items, then I can just drag and drop there. And we'll see that I've only sold in the United States in this demo. But it's just drag and drop. It's very intuitive, which makes it better.
This comes in very handy because otherwise you will have to scroll into a very small rectangle of dimensions. So this is a nice update as SAP provided.
So it's very useful. Then you can just save it and move on, make other stories in this. Then another thing that I use a lot is the data analyzer. So I'll just skip to the next thing. And the data analyzer also changed look and feel. So like the stories, the filters are different and the layout as well. So now we can just click on the arrows and our designer will appear, also working with the available objects. Starting with our measures selecting, and then also here, drag and drop has been installed. So when I want country, I can just drag and drop it in here, but also I can drag and drop it in the table itself. So I can just select the three dots and then the blue rectangle, it's where I'll drop them. And you see that the country has appeared.
Cool.
And then also something we can do is the measures. We can say instead of 3 decimal places, I want 2, or I want to format it into thousands. It's also something that was possible. Now, filters have been all moved to top. So, for example, I want to see the sales organization of France. Let's go. Voila. And everything is here. We can do sorting, but it won't affect this very much because it's only 2 countries. And we can choose to, let's say, only view France and exclude this member. So previously you can only select the ones you wanted, now you can select the ones you don't want. So we just throw Belgium out and we see only France.
We can see at the top that Belgium is excluded.
Exactly. So it's all very visible now.
Great.
I think that's the most that I can say of the data analyzer. Of course, data analyzer is used a lot in customers to view which data is available in models. So you will use it and you will see what is available. So I'll just go back to the PowerPoint for a moment. I show you two things because I was a little bit excited. So we have the story, which means new look and feel, the context menu is different, and the new chart builder with the available objects option. And then also the data analyzer. So there we have table capabilities like sorting, filter capabilities like including and excluding, the context menus, which we excluded Belgium with, the builder capabilities also with the available objects, and many other things. But as you will use the data analyzer, you will see that things have changed and become more user-friendly. Then I will give the word to my colleague, Cas.
Thank you. So we also have a couple new export possibilities. So before this update, we were able to export our data as a CSV file or flat file to our local system, either manual or scheduled, or export our data to SAP BPC. But from now on, we can also do this to SAP S4HANA, to the OData services, or to SAP IBP.
Nice.
This opens a lot of new gates for a lot of our clients. And when these options won't satisfy your needs, you can also use the SAP Analytics Cloud export service API, but this is a little bit more technical, so we won't cover this one. It's released in the last year. Then another thing, so for enterprise planning, there are a lot of updates this release, and the holy grail for a lot of developers in SAP Analytics Cloud is the tracing capability for the advanced formula. So once again, this is maybe more for the technical employees, but it's important to mention that this is a new feature in SAP Analytics Cloud. This enables the employees to develop at a faster pace because they do not have to comment line by line in order to find what data or what numbers are affected with the calculation. But we can now see this in the tracing panel. We can test our data action step by step. So in between each data action step or line by line. And we're also able to review intermediate screenshots of our data during the calculation process. So for example, when we are looping through our data for each month, we can now stop at the month of June, see what our data is. We go further, August, okay, our data is still the way we want to. So this will speed up the process a lot with developing advanced formulas.
You can also see directly when something's going wrong. It's very useful.
Yeah, a lot of developers will recognize the debugging options. It's kind of the same. So yeah, very good improvement made by SAP. And we can also review the affected dimension numbers, not to forget. Then also with the multi-actions, we can now add an import job for our master data. So before doing all kinds of calculations on our data, we want to make sure our master data is correct. So that's why we want to add this import job to our multi-action. This will also come in very handy just to make sure our data is correct and not assume that it's correct. And also related to planning, we have a new calendar administrator role. So it gives access. Okay, so also we have the new calendar administrator role. So it gives visibility to all the calendar processes that are made within our tenant. So he or she can update or change any specific tasks or processes. And it's actually just a button we can toggle on or off. It's a role-based permission, which is auto-enabled for the administrator, the planning administrator, I'm sorry. And the goal is to simplify and centralize the administration of our tasks in the calendar. So this comes in very handy when someone just wants to get an overview of the project or what person is doing what. So yeah, that's why this role can come in very handy. I will maybe show this in the system. So for example, we go to the calendar here, and we switch on, we have the list view or the calendar view. So we switch to the calendar view. And right now I have two tasks visible. So for example, the test for demo task, which is made by me. Because I am a planning administrator, I have the admin mode available as well. So I toggle the switch. It automatically switches to the list view, but just for the sake of this demonstration, I will switch back to the calendar view. And right now I can see more tasks than just created by myself. So for example, tomorrow, Karen, you planned the task, the demo test.
That's right.
I did not expect that. Okay, so right now I will switch back to the slides. Okay, so we saw this. But another thing to mention is that the assignees can no longer add work files to their review tasks. So keep that in mind.
And in the next few quarters, there's going to be a lot of different features coming. I'll give you a sneak peek. But just know that in the next quarter releases, we'll be here too with new video about what the highlights are of new releases to show you what's new. But in the meantime, if you have questions, if there's things that aren't working for you, you can just bring us a mail as well. And then we will help you as best as we can and make sure your tools work for you as they should.
Yeah, also, if you want to keep up to date with other projects or use cases, you can follow us on LinkedIn
or our website.
Go to our website www.flexo.com.
Fun.
Thank you for watching. Until the next one.
Bye.